come and get me!
Hey guys, welcome back. We're just going to take this down to 500, do 15 every beginning of an episode. That should keep things going down. We aren't going to get anywhere near as many coins as we got in the last few episodes because, you know, that special glitch, it's not a glitch, it's actually, you know, it's an unintended, I don't know if maybe they did intend it. It's pretty cool though. I do like the fact that it's in because it's essentially exploiting a system which works nicely anyway. I don't know, I quite like it. Oh dear, snap, I discovered an amazing fact today. I found that watermelons have a higher water content than milk. Well, milk's just blood and pus, I thought. Not a nice thing to think about, considering we all drink it, but I swore it's essentially just particles of blood and pus. Milk was. Though I do not know if that's true. Now I think about it, that doesn't sound very true. But yeah, considering watermelons are called water and milk isn't called wilk, or something equally retarded, kind of not a shock. I mean, milk doesn't look watery, whereas watermelon, a lot of the stuff you get out of it is quite watery. Don't like watermelon flavoured anything. It's a really weird flavour. Like watermelon on its own can taste kind of like, you know when you leave some water in the fridge for a bit, uncovered, and it tastes like fridge water, and it tastes kind of like the fridge, and it's really not nice to drink. Well, it's kind of like that. That's how I kind of... It feels like almost stuff that, you know, when your nose gets blocked, you tend to taste some of the crap as it goes down the back of your throat as your body naturally clears it out and puts another bunch of mucus up there, and you can taste it. It's disgusting, really disgusting. But it's that watermelon to me tastes like that taste. It's really weird, and the fake watermelon just tastes like, oh, it's horrible. I mean, I'll eat it, but it's weird. It's like Mentos have a watermelon flavoured one, and it's just weird. Why would you do that? Why would you have watermelon flavor? I don't know. I mean, some people might say, oh, you know, you're lucky you have mucus that tastes like watermelon. Well, yeah, I guess that might be one interpretation of it. The other interpretation may be I have weird mucus, or watermelon tastes disgusting, or this conversation is pretty weird. More monkey fondling, I don't know. Monkey Savile. Jimmy Monkville. Whatever. Oh, another research memo. The North and South Poles have at different altitudes, and the South Pole appears to be colder. Actually, in the North and South Poles, the idea of what's north totally breaks down, which is an interesting concept because, again, a lot of these concepts, like money, we've created ourselves to kind of fill a need or to create a sense of the chaos. So, essentially, with obviously time was one of them, we just thought that we'd end up making a system based on 60 and something to do with periods of the sun. I think 60 was based off rads was to do with that as well. So yeah, we essentially based that off it and created a time period which was split into something called seconds, minutes and hours, and that really hasn't changed despite the fact that we don't use 60 for very little. We use 60 for very little else as a kind of marker. You know, like picoseconds, nanoseconds, all these are more something to the minus 10 and they work differently, which means calculating times is always a complete mess. You wouldn't believe how long it took me to calculate all the, add up all the times and calculate the percentages of the Sonic 06 LP, because Sony Vega stores them in in minutes, seconds, and frames. So that's 29.97 frames a second because it was double NTC and I was taking it down to regular NTSC. So you've got to essentially work out the percentage that number of frames is through a second and add that on and a bunch of other stuff. It was really complicated, and then you've got to add all them up and make sure you deal with the frames correctly. Yeah, that was a complete. If that was all like everything was just a decimal place, that would be fine. Or it was like, if it was like 10 to the blah, 10 to the 2, 10 to the 3, 10 to the 4 was different. Like a minute was 10 to the 2, an hour was 10 to the 3, that kind of stuff. It'd make it so much easier, but no. So yeah, money is like a randomly arbitrary thing that we've created, and look where that's thrown us. We've now got vast quantities of negative money, which I always found hilarious. So essentially, money is digital, and so many people are in debt to each other, which essentially cancels out a bunch of debt you would have thought, but it doesn't. So you end up with this scenario where there's more money than exists in the world. There must be. And that there's now... that despite that, we still, lots of companies, lots of players still have negative money. I mean, I've currently got a situation where I have negative money in my bank account. That is scary, negative money, because it doesn't exist. You can't have something, you can't have negative something. If you don't have it, you don't have it. You just don't have it. You can't then have negative something if someone takes something away from you. You no longer, you don't have -1 of that thing, you have 0. It's a complete concept. It's a bizarre concept. Technically, you don't even have 0 of that thing, because that's another concept. It's applying a number, you don't have anything of that thing at all. And so it is really weird to think about. Now, there was something else I was getting into. There was another thing which I was going to mention, like how it's bizarre, the bizarre concept. Oh my god, 5 minutes in, I've been rambling the entire time. Charu. It was something to do with, we had what, time, money. There was something else. An idea that, oh my goodness, you know what, I'm actually gonna, do I dare look back on the commentary? Yeah, I'm just gonna have a look back on the commentary and see what I said. So yeah, the period of, the idea of the North and South break down. Because essentially, when you're on the North Pole, everything is south of you. Everything is south. When you're on the South Pole, everything is north of you. But the idea, you get to a point where it almost gets, you end up, keep going north and you end up heading south. And just things like that, you know, concepts that we've created to try and make sense of all the chaos, tend to break down at some points. And it's interesting to see. But yeah, I don't know. I always like thinking about things like that because it is essentially something we've created and therefore a problem that we've created ourselves by creating something which makes our life a little bit easier. But then you see that, wow, look at that, what the hell is that? But then you see that all the time in nearly everything we do as humans, making sense of the chaos and making it a little bit, and adding a little bit of our own special chaos into it. But yeah, just a funny thing that I thought I'd mention. Okay, the Lost World, we've got 3 more monkeys, we've got, oh, pardon me, 3 monkeys, 6 monkeys. Oh, let me start again. 3, 9, 10, 11, 12. Can we do 12 monkeys in... Oh wow, it's 8 minutes. Well, no it isn't. I cut a bunch out. So let's do this. Let's just pummel through this level. This level does annoy me somewhat greatly. Whatever, we don't need to see any of it. We instantly start with our seal scope. Anything here? Nope. Monkey radar. Right, so we want to head up here. Do you want to head into there, or... It can be difficult to discern which way that it wants you to go. Yeah, that way, definitely. Oh, goodness me. Jumping onto this, you must have quite a slimy back for you to be able to not jump onto them. I don't know if I missed one, or if it actually just didn't go to time. Wow, boulders. Something that big, you would never... Would you really ever attempt to walk over here if you valued anything? Because those boulders would literally squash you flat. It would... You know, I'd expect a death like this to be in Tomb Raider. You know, half the stuff in that. I'm going to have so much fun when I play through that game, because so much of the death... Oh yeah, I set it out so I could come back this way and have a bunch of monkeys to collect that are, like, this whole area. That's cool, I'm glad I did that. Which means we should be well in time to do this. The only difficulty is the next level. After that, it's going to be an absolute breeze. Yeah, I don't know how they're flying so steady. Nor do I know why they keep flying these platforms around. Surely this is tiring. Also, there's no way, there's absolutely no way that wingspan and that amount of flapping could keep this platform up, considering it's solid rock. This is where I start looking at real physics and start doing my own little calculations about things, which I won't do because I so can't be bothered. But essentially, the thrust to keep this in the air constantly. Oh, wow, there's something over there. That's cool. I know we know exactly where that is because I pointed it out last time. Now I remember. Oh, no. That was so nearly my own stupid mistake. You do that. It's like a second take. You come down, then you think I'm not going to make it, even though you've made it, and your finger just presses a button, and then you jump off and kill yourself. And you're like, but I made it. But my body and my mind fought against me making it, and I lost. And it is rather depressing. Oh, I hope I left that. Yeah, I did. Well, we'll head up here and get the first seal scope thing out of the way. This should rise. There we go. Yeah, I don't like these. This is a really annoying way of, like... Wow, that was lucky. Making things difficult for you. Oh, wow, he was ready. He's quite cool. I like the little old-style gun they've got. Emma, again. It probably has a meaning for something. I cannot remember what it is. Oh, that was nice. And there we go. Get this guy out of the way. Yeah, I left this out really nicely. It's okay. All that's happened is that you've gone from one enemy's clutches to another. Oh wow, that was fairly lucky. Now this one can be quite annoying because he's going to wait until you get across, and he's going to set that thing off and flip it back, and you're going to die. One of the best ways to do is... Oh wow, he didn't this time. He wasn't a dick. Really? Murdoch. Rupert Murdoch, because he's next to a massive satellite like Sky. Because he owns Sky. I think he owns Sky. And a bunch of other stuff. But yeah, that one was quite easy. But was there only 3 in that level? No, there was definitely a lot more than 3. Anyway. Yeah, it was only 3 in that level, actually, now I think about it. Skyscraper City. These are all going to be quite near the end of the level, I think, which is going to be so much fun because I hate doing this. But it might mean that the next episode is the final episode, not this episode. You know, I do lie about things all the time. Oh no. No, it's the fucking magnets. The worst mechanic that they ever created, and I am still to this day wondering why. I mean, why not just be able to pull it? Why have something which just serves a purpose to make enemies more difficult to defeat? There shouldn't be a gadget which, when you get it, then it introduces enemies which are harder to defeat because of the gadget. Just don't introduce the gadget and the enemies wouldn't be hard. It's a simple thing. It's like, don't do it. Don't be stupid, don't be Capcom. Although that can't really apply because Capcom have been behaving themselves recently. I guess you could say don't be stupid, don't be Nintendo, but then people would assume that I'm meaning about the 2DS, which of course I'm not. I don't know. This, you don't even need to move this, which is the handy thing. Did I just move that with my hands? Yeah, pretty much. But yeah, just do that. I mean, there's no reason why you'd actually want to pull that all the way out. What do I look like? Friggin' idiot. Someone who wastes people... Yeah, I know, I waste people's time all the time. Shush. Okay, that was between you and me. Only you and only me. No one else needed to know. At all. But apparently everyone told everyone, you know. Because of Pam. I should stop making, like, all these little things. I don't know, whatever. There's no one having a bidet again, washing their balls or whatever in their fountains, like the monkeys usually do. Actually, interesting question. Because they're so close to us, do they actually have ball sacks? We will pretend that question never happened and move swiftly on. These things die in one hit as well, which is so nice. Right, okay. So the monkeys are off in this direction, which I guess is cool. Better check the seal scope to check there's nothing around here. You know what, just die. It's so annoying. It's like, this place is so inaccessible for wheelchair users. I mean, it wouldn't be if they didn't keep going flat, didn't keep going up again, but imagine, I mean, I guess, if it was more syncopated, it might be quite good for wheelchair users because they roll them on and then it goes vertical, and then they roll them on and it goes so on and so forth. But because it doesn't, I just kind of left with this feeling that someone done goofed majorly. Oh yeah, and these guys, yeah, one hit. That just makes me so happy. These things as well, one hit. No longer are they an annoying enemy because of having to wait 3 seconds to pull something off with an arbitrary weapon they introduced us just so they could use the enemies, which is a pointless task in itself because it's making the game harder when it doesn't need to be harder. But you know, it's fine. We do that. That's my issue with this particular weapon, is they only introduce it so that they can add a new game mechanic, which they then made a harder enemy with, that's only harder because of the new game mechanic they added in. If you see what I mean, it becomes rather silly that it's only stupid because of the fact... I don't know. I mean, I guess you could say that with nearly every mechanic, but this just seems even worse. I'm pretty sure there's a... Oh, gosh. Maybe there's not a seal scope. Oh, there is. It's inverted. I'm not used to the... It's bizarre how much your brain gets used to different inversions in things. And then going back to something, I didn't have a problem with inversion previously. But what game have I been playing? I'm playing a game that requires some form of inversion, and I can't remember what it even is. Oh, Kingdom Hearts. And yeah, I changed the inversion, which must have been, let's see, let me just remind myself. Up is, right, up, no, okay, up, down, then left, right is left and right. It's weird that your brain can think that by pushing down on something, you move it up, but I guess if you're on a turret, or you're on something, and you want to move it, you want to point it to the sky, you move it down. If you're behind it, and obviously there's something in the middle. So essentially that's kind of a bit more realistic, like you're pushing it down, instead of you wanting it to go up, so you move it up, because that doesn't make much sense if it's a long object with an axle, not an axle, with the connector in the middle, and, you know, the ball bearing, whatever. You know what. Golden IDS clearly doesn't know what he's talking about. There we go. It's surprisingly hot in here. Even after having an ice cream. I think that might be why. Oh, goodness me. You can just press forward with these and he goes like this, but if you actually do this, he moves a lot faster, as you can see. We're done, we're done. I think there might be something over here. I hope anyway, because otherwise this would have been... Yes! Finally! Oh, goodness. The Uzi guys. I can't believe I completely messed up on calling them Rory. Oh, you know, insert joke about Doctor Who, move on because of all the Doctor Who. That's seriously the worst fandom ever. Just Doctor Who. Just Doctor Who. I don't know. I just rant about Doctor Who fandom for ages. Right, I'm going to try and... If we keep doing this, it might actually be a faster way. No, it's only if you double jump, I think, that it makes it faster. Oh well. Shame. Oh god, this mechanic again. You know what, I'm going to drink some... This is the first time I've been drinking Lucozade during recordings in a while. So much better. That's going to make me fat. All the energy that I'm not using. But I must be using... That's the interesting thing, is like... You become fat because your body stores energy that it doesn't need. In glucose and stuff. But... I feel tired, so I drink some Lucozade. I don't feel tired. And then a small while later, I feel tired. That can't be because I burnt off all the energy the Lucozade gave me, because that would be ridiculous, that I wouldn't put on any fat. I'd burnt it off by, you know, talking, you know, all that sort of stuff that comes with it, concentrating, blah blah blah. Sweating, all that jazz. But then what new thing decides that this energy is gone to as much use as it can and makes my body store it as fat anyway? I don't know, it's interesting to think, why does your body then think, you know what, I'm going to cut you off at this point, so now you feel tired, but now I'm going to give you... I know that feeling tired isn't just based solely on energy, but it's not always feeling tired, it's always just inability to keep speaking, that jazz, and it's, I don't know, I feel like it's a bizarre concept, because then your body just stores its fat and you're like, whoa, cool. What, there's no monkeys around here? No, brilliant. I think I know where they all are though. And we are heading in the right direction, thank goodness. Just keep going through here and we'll get there eventually. But yeah, I don't know, this recording I seem to be a lot more curious about things. I like being curious, because, you know, when you have such a fantastic world around you, and fantastic, just everything, you know. The fact that I'm sat here, playing a video game which requires millions of calculations a second. I have a device which is turning an analog signal, which is essentially a waveform, into a series of on-off pulses to my computer which understands them. Not only that, but it saves it onto a mechanical hard drive by magnetizing certain parts of that using a mechanical head. And also, while doing that, recording my voice from a device here which is picking up my sound from my mouth, which is an analog wave, a pressure if you will, and receiving that pressure, turning it into something that can be stored on a computer, and it's just incredible. It really is incredible. I'll go down the bottom because I went this way last time. And then the fact that I can then manipulate this data in such a way that I can then mold the two together, add the waveforms on top of each other, even though they're stored as simple bit patterns, which is technically an approximation of a waveform anyway. And then you can transmit it via digital, you know, bursts to the internet, which is essentially whatever, we're not going to use this, a bunch of localized isn't even the right word, to a server in another frigging country. Not to mention how crazy that is, you send it somewhere else. Yeah. And then other people can download it and watch it. It just is incredible, the fact of all what the data has to do to gone from it coming out of my mouth to it being delivered to your ears. It's absolutely crazy. Oh, great. Oh, it's because we go around in a full circle anyway. It is ridiculous. When you start thinking about that, you think, how can someone not be curious about how the world works? Because to be curious, not curious about the world work, it potentially, I don't know, it feels almost like an ignorance. I mean, not to the sense where I'm not interested about how the world works, you know, all of it. There are some things which I really don't care about, which would bore me. But in general, when you start to think about it, it's an amazing place. And even not having a small modicum of curiosity, to me seems a bit foreign. But that's my subjective view on this incredible universe. And your subjective, obviously, view might be totally different. And that's another incredible thing, that we've evolved to the stage where we can have subjective opinions. Well, obviously by definition opinions are subjective, but we can do that based on other people, and that is incredible, and it's just amazing. And that's the kind of thing which, when I play games like Xenosaga, it's essentially like, oh gosh, battery's low, brilliant, it's like something new I'm learning all over again, a new universe to talk about, a new universe to feel about. I really enjoy it. I really enjoy thinking about it, and you know, all that jazz. Okay, where's this one? Oh wow, he's just sat there, sprawling, his junk on the table. Wow, didn't see you there, Mr. Monkey. That was really sneaky. Ah, gosh, you could have waited. Douglas Adams, probably not. I don't remember Douglas Adams being particularly angry. He would take more baths, the closer the closer to completion, the closer to deadline he got. So he'd be taking like 3 or 4 baths a day, which I find is quite incredible. Now this puzzle is really friggin' annoying, because essentially you've got to jump past them, and that happens, because if you jump from the top, for some reason your acceleration is different if you hit the ceiling. You kind of lose all forward momentum, which is not surprising because that's kind of how it would go. I mean, the Skyflyer would probably be a lot more use here, but I kind of feel like a man and want to complete this on its own. Oh my goodness. You fucking idiot! I'm talking to me. I did that all on my own. I completely messed up. God, I hate this music. Right, okay. So essentially, we'll use the Skyflyer. I don't view it as a failure. I view it as a strength. Oh yes! I was about to just get enraged then. Oh no! Don't get down off the pose. But I liked you there. Come back. No. That worked so well. There we go. 2 more monkeys left. Brendan. Well, hello, Brendan, that sits on the countertop and, you know, muddies the countertop with his own junk. So that's the one. Just go around a couple of times, like a roundabout. Don't know which way we're going off the roundabout, but whatever. Right, we'll need the awful weapon again because this was the level it was introduced. Wait until it stops still. Because if it doesn't, I've said this before, it moves past it just as you start to move, and the game thinks otherwise, so you basically move and just fly off the end, and it is the most disappointing death ever because you feel cheated out of everything ever. Now I think there isn't any other monkeys lying around here. There's one monkey here. I think there's another one. Ricardo. Oh, there's only one more Ricardo. There's only one Ricardo. Well, strangely enough, there's only one Ricardo. No, well, we'll have to see if there's another one later on. Oh well. Cat better not be scratching on my door. God damn it. Okay, another monkey. No, there's a few more areas. That's fine. Oh goodness me. Who built this? I demand to know. Health and safety calls. He wants to sue you. That's something which is quite a bit different from the UK to the US. Is our health and safety. Christ Almighty. It's certainly crazy. No, I thought that was just going to pull me off and just go straight flying off the edge here. But pretty much we've almost completed this level, so It's taken me about double the time I thought it would, but that was because I didn't pay enough attention to the monkeys originally. Oh. God, I thought these were going to collapse as well. That would be like the icing on top of my entire, oh my god, what the hell's going on cake. Which does exist. Seriously, I was on, this reminds me of cake, but being browsing Reddit occasionally, there's something you notice, and it's like the word cake day. I mean, I don't understand why people don't call it birthday. I mean, I guess because they find the idea of celebrating the day you were born on ridiculous. So now it's because you get cake. So they call it cake day. But the day still has its intrinsic meaning. You get cake because it's your birthday. You don't get cake because this is the day that you decide to get cake. You get cake because it's the day you were born on. It just seems ridiculous in trying to skirt the idea of the whole thing when, what's the point? It's your birthday, man. Just deal with it. It's not an issue. It's not like, I don't know. It just seems funny. Like, I can understand if people want to call it cake day. That's fine. But if it's trying to call it cake day to avoid the idea, oh, for God's sake, this monkey, to avoid the idea that, you know, let me finish. It's just like freaking Sonic 06 over again. Yeah, you know what I was going to say. I already said it before, just to avoid the fact that it being on your birthday. It seems kind of funny and silly, but whatever. Pardon me. That's what I think of what she said. Absolutely. 100%. Well, we'll see you in the next episode, guys. Take care. Bye-bye.